Good Company podcast. Rick Carly, Matt Coulter, Lars Anderson taking this podcast off, but we've got the man Roger Shultz. And if you know anything about SEC football or Alabama football, or The Price is Right, or The Biggest Loser.
Hey,
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great.
Well, tell us what you're doing now. You're in Mobile,
Yeah,
right?
I'm living in Mobile. I'm almost got my son raised.
Okay.
He's getting closer to getting off the.
Ivan, what's he doing? Is he out of college?
Yeah, he's out at the University of Texas Permian Basin. Have you ever seen Landman?
Okay.
That's where he's at. And it looks just like that out there.
Oh, really?
It's awful. But a lot of rich people. It's like, son, let's get out there.
Money.
Let's
Get out
meet
there.
some people.
Roger's like, you know.
You got to tell. First of all, Ivan's nickname is maybe my favorite nickname ever. And do you still call him that?
Well, hash mark.
Yeah. Which
Yes.
is where you.
I yell, if I'm in a public, I yell hash mark too.
Wow.
So he knows.
And why hash mark?
Well, because I'm a center, and
Right.
a center spent 90% of our life on a hash mark.
Right.
So
Great.
I named him. I didn't
It's
ever
great.
want to give his name out on the radio when I was doing stuff. So I said, I'll just call him hash mark, and so that's what it stuck. And it's because a lot of people through radio know that we call him hash mark, and so I always know if somebody listened to the radio show or whatever, they know that if they say, "Hey, how's hash mark?" I know they listen to the show, and those people get a warm hug from me too.
You'll probably get a few off this one too.
Yeah,
That's awesome. So let's go back to you went to Bama 88? No.
86.
Close. 86.
86.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you play with Cornelius or no?
Yeah, 100%. I played with Cornelius.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
You played for three different coaches. You played for Perkins, for Curry, and then Stahl.
That's correct. 3 head coaches, 4 offensive coordinators, and 5 offensive line coaches.
And then after that, you became a GA and won a national championship.
I hung around long enough. That's right. Smart. Yeah, I get that question. I know what you're going to ask.
Yeah,
like,
who do you enjoy the most?
Well, so I like them for different reasons. And I've obviously had time to look at this question. Obviously, Coach Perkins giving me the opportunity to come and be a part of Alabama. Like, I never, ever thought in my wildest dreams I get to play football at Alabama. My high school coach told me if I kept working hard, I'd have an opportunity to play at Furman, which I was insulted by, but he thought it was a compliment. And I was like, I want to play, and so, I had so Coach Perkins saw something in me and gave me an opportunity. And I'll never forget when he called me and said, "Hey, you have a scholarship to Alabama." And I said, "Oh, that's wonderful. That's great." I said, "I'm coming." He goes, "Well, no, you don't have to come in." I said, "Could you please broadcast this, put it in every newspaper?" I'm coming. I mean, we didn't have social media or anything in that day. So he said, "Why don't you just wait till your official visit and announce it?" I go, "No, I want people to know that you've offered me now. I'm not going, I promise you, Coach, I'm not going anywhere." And then I go on my official visit and I officially commit to Alabama. And then I go, "Hey, by the way, I have an official visit scheduled to Ohio State. Can I go to that?" He said, "Yeah, you can go to that."
You can. I've got to set this story up. Okay.
All right.
1986. I was at Channel 13. You were not in the
There
market yet.
right. No.
But I did a little research and had gone to some August practice. And I said, "Are they really going to start a center, a true freshman center at Alabama?" I went, "Well, hey, first day of media," I said, "I'm going to talk to that guy. You remember this story." And so I was the only one to request Shultz.
That's right.
And he comes out. Do you remember the courtyard at Bryant?
Yeah.
He comes out and he's dressed in a Mexican smock. It's August. The cloth in that thing's about this thick.
That's right.
I think you had like walking boots on and maybe a pair of shorts.
Yeah, that's probably
But I said, okay.
I can exactly remember the shorts I had on. I had a pair of hospital scrubs that
That's
my dad
it.
had given
That's
me
it.
that were cut off.
Yeah,
to make
that's
shorts.
That's it. But anyway,
And
I was
then a
thinking,
poncho.
this is going to be a blast.
Yeah.
That
That was actually in 1987. That's when I became the starting center. In 86, when I came in, I was red shirt.
Right. Okay.
But I had to go to the Sun Bowl first to get that jacket. That's where I got the jacket, was from the Sun Bowl.
So you were like Landon Dickerson of your time.
Yes.
Kind of the
that's a lot of people.
lineman, good old boy.
You know what's so funny? You're the third So I've been in Birmingham the last couple of days just visiting people and catching up with friends because I knew I was going to come up here and see you guys, which you guys are friends. And I don't mind saying that. So people don't hold that against me. They are friends. So, and somebody's like, you're kind of, Landon, they go, "You're kind of like Landon Dickerson." So I said, "Time out."
Yeah, Landon.
Landon's like Schultz. What are you talking about? Because remember he put the wood bumper. Remember
the telephone pole.
Yeah.
Or the railroad tie.
Yeah. You may not remember this. You may not have been in the market. I know you remember.
You had
we spray painted our car.
A
and put our
Maverick.
a Maverick, and we spray painted it, put our numbers on the side of it. And so, that was something we did. We cut the top off of a 67 Ford Galaxy. We cut the top off of it. And it was funny because we always wanted a convertible. And the fire department was practicing Jaws of Life. And we said, well, cut the top off of this. And they cut the top off of it. And we hammered wood at it so we wouldn't cut ourselves on the shavings. And we had
drove it around.
Drove it around. Yeah, that was Demos's car that we cut up, and then we had the Maverick that was spray painted, and it was so funny because there was a girl that was in Tuscaloosa, and she called it the Spirit car, and she goes, "Can I take the Spirit car out?" She goes, "Yeah." So she took the Spirit car out, and we're getting ready for a game, and we're in a hotel, and we get a knock on me and Zook get a knock on the door about 3:00, and we're like, "It's Coach," and we open the door and go, "Why are you waking us up before a game?" And go, "Well, we saw your car at the bar." And want to make sure you were in your room. And I go, no, those girls have my car. So it was kind of a
No
funny
NIL when you're driving around a Maverick. To fast forward the story, I did a feature. You remember Greg Screws, a photographer, and we got a toe-to-head shot of what you were wearing.
Yeah.
And I asked you, I said, why are you wearing this? What was your answer?
I don't have any underwear.
No.
I don't have any clean underwear.
I don't have any clean clothes, period.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway,
I
I did this feature on you, and it was pretty good. Of course, you and I, the interview was more just back and forth laughter because he's a funny guy. Yeah, everybody knows that. So I do this feature on you as the only one that requested you, and it went over big time. Yeah. Everybody wanted to know Roger Shultz.
Yeah.
The next week, there were 12 requests to interview Roger Shultz. So in a sense, I pretty much put you on the broadcast map.
There is absolutely no doubt you are responsible for it.
I take great pride in that.
I can remember walking around. I swear if these guys will talk to me, I will be entertaining. Talk to me. I walked through the hall. I stayed. I ate my lunch out in the hall. Nobody requested me. But what's funny when you did that is, they would bring Gary Hollingsworth out. This is like in '89, and he would sit like in a table like this, and everybody'd have their mics up, and he'd do one interview, 10 minutes. I always had to do different interviews because I'd get different things. People ask, it's just kind of funny. So I would literally be out there for an hour talking to different people.
Custom stuff.
Well, you were what we say in this business. You were fantastic copy.
Well,
you never knew what you were going to get. But you and Hollingsworth, as long as we're talking about, y'all had a great relationship.
Yeah, we had a great rapport. Well, and that Rick is the one that got me. So when Curry left and Stallings came in and whatever, we were doing a report. We're outside of Bidgood Hall. Mm-hmm. And remember, I said, I'm just trying to find a date.
Yeah, we're just
trying to find a date. That was Rick's like, he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm just trying to find a date. Because Gary nudges me. And I'm like, I'm just trying to find a date. Of course, the girl I was dating at the time didn't like it.
I bet.
But it was so funny. But the radio station, that was Steve in D.C. had a real popular radio show, and they tried to win me a date. It was kind of funny. But you were
a legend, yeah. And then '89, we go to you mentioned Perkins. I want you to talk about
the coaches.
Like playing for Stallings. And your third one would be Curry. And I want you to go to the '89 Iron Bowl when Auburn finally got it back to Jordan-Hare and what Coach Curry told you folks in the locker room before you took the field and what song he played. Well, let's start with Stallings and then take us to Curry.
So you ask which one I like the best, and I told you I like Coach Perkins. He gave me an opportunity and look, his scholarship that he endowed at Alabama allowed me to go to graduate. That's how I got my GA and played at it. So he paid for that. And I remember writing him a real heartfelt letter, and he goes, thank you. His response was thank you.
Typical Ray.
Yeah, which is good. But we've talked about it, before he passed away. We had an opportunity to visit with him because I was always really scared. Like, he made me really, really nervous. Like
he did the same thing with the media.
Yeah,
he was a tough cracker.
Yeah, I was nervous around him. But I was one of his guys. But then, Curry came in, and I like Coach Curry. He's from Atlanta. He's a guy, and I didn't really understand the hate that Alabama and Georgia Tech had. You learn it, and pretty strong. And I didn't understand, you're getting a Georgia Tech guy. But Curry was from Atlanta. That's where I went to high school in Atlanta, so I knew Coach Curry. A couple of guys from my high school played at Georgia Tech, so I knew him. And we won an SEC championship, had a chance to win it a couple more times, late in the year, and we just either had to beat LSU or Auburn, and we never could seem to beat both of them together, except for in '89. And then, of course, Coach Stallings comes in, which I love Coach Stallings, and he's just a different type of guy, just a real straightforward guy. But as you talked about, like in '89, going down and playing Auburn for the first time, and it was Whitney Houston, One Moment in Time. Because you'll remember in the 88 Olympics.
He played that in the locker room.
Yeah, he played it in the team meeting room.
In a team meeting room before the game.
Yeah, it was like a Thursday, and he gave us a cassette tape of it. We all got a cassette tape of it to play. And of course, probably 98% of the team took that cassette tape and made their own tape. Made a mixtape or a date tape for a girl or something. Okay, I'll make a date tape. One moment in time. Who gives a crap about that? But but they played that in the 88 Olympics, One Moment in Time. And I guess he thought, but we're sitting there listening to this and going, God, really?
Hey, Coach, bring me some AC/DC or something.
I said, my God, this is brutal. And, so we had so we go down there, whatever.
And you lose.
Yeah, well, and what's funny was we got our itinerary and it says, governor's house. And I thought, this game is huge. We're going to the governor's house. Where. And we get there and we pull up, and the hotel was called the governor's house.
That's right.
We didn't go to the governor's house. The hotel was called the governor's house.
Yeah.
And they had a swimming pool in the shape of Alabama. So I was always like, if we always wanted a beer bed, I said I could swim the state of Alabama, and I'd just take them out there and just swim a lap in the pool. But it's a good way to win a bar bet.
Absolutely.
But you had to go to Montgomery to swim. That was the downfall of that bet. But and we got ready for the '89 game, and look, we win that game, and even we lost that game, which was tough. But man, we go play Miami, and Miami's got the number one defense in the country, giving up 8 points a game. Mm-hmm. The most points they gave up in a game was 18. Mm-hmm. We scored 24, 28 points. Man, we should have won the game. Right. And then we possibly could have snuck in and been national champs. I mean, it's really funny how, like, when you look back how close, and you look back at any game you look back, how little 6 or 7 plays make a difference in a game. But then, then Stallings comes in, and, we hadn't beaten, the one thing that Coach Stallings is, I hadn't beaten Auburn since I've been at Alabama. And Stallings comes in and is like, hey, man, he did. Curry made a big deal about it because he didn't beat Auburn at Georgia Tech. Okay. So, Curry had like 10 years of not beating Auburn. And I think it weighed on him a little bit and a little bit of pressure on him. And Stallings was like, hey, man, we're going to beat. He's just like, we're going to beat him. What are y'all worried about? We're just better. You're better. And if something happens wrong, who cares? Like Curry's like, man, if we fumble, oh my God, we're going to, it's like, Katie boy, everything's falling in. Well, Stallings like, who gives a crap? Shit, let's go. Let's go. Don't worry about it. Let's go play ball.
So you wanted to run through a wall for him.
Yeah. He was just different. It was just a different mentality and how we responded to adverse situations. You just play the next play. Don't worry about it. Don't let it weigh you down, or it's not so tragic that, we can't overcome it.
And as kind of a man as Coach Stallings is, I've become close to him over the years, of course, with John Mark and the whole bit, but he's been out to his ranch in Paris, Texas. But he could get on officials. So it was like a different man. It was Gene Stallings on the sidelines and Gene Stallings off it. From the Rise Center and his tenderness to this guy.
Yeah, he was,
He could really
He was not Church of Christ on Saturday.
And I always got a kick about when he played at Legion Field. He always had his press pass dangling from his belt, like he couldn't get in the stadium without it.
Excuse me, can we check that? Okay.
Yeah.
Come on in.
You're good.
But that's what I love about Coach. I'll tell you the funny thing about Coach Stallings is he wanted it done a certain way. And in 90, of course, we had the transition from Curry to Stallings, and we lost the first 3 games in 90.
Brett Favre beat you.
Yeah. And who knew at the time, right? Who knew he was going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? We knew he was pretty good, but he was in a car accident. We didn't even know he was going to play, and he played pretty good. But we lost our first 3 games, and we're kind of – so it's a feeling out process. Here we are, SEC champs, really, played Miami in the Sugar Bowl, and here we come in, and we think we're going to be pretty good. But it's just how you adjust, And I will never forget, we were playing – I think it was Vanderbilt. And Gary Hollingsworth calls we're going to run a sweep to the right. And Gary goes opposite, which is we're going to run a sweep to the left. Not very complicated, but there was a call we had with Coach Homer Smith. So we run opposite, and we run the ball, and gain 50 yards. Stallings is about halfway on the field going, time out. What are you doing? We called the sweep. You run the play that's called. Hey, run the play that's called.
50 yards or not.
Run the play that's called. Doesn't matter. You run the play that's called. And I go, wow. So the next week we had check with me plays. So now he came with check with me plays. And so if the play that was there that wasn't there, the only play you could check to was a dive to the right or dive to the left. That was a check with me. It was like, all right, we're going. That play's not going to be successful. We're going to run the dive to the right, to the left. And if you remember in the Auburn game, we finished that game out. You talk about offensive line being able to get a yard and move people off the ball. You look at that game in '90 when we played Auburn and we had to kill the clock, and all we did was run dive, left, right, dive, dive, dive. And Junior Sewell had the best game of his life, and we just ran dive.
But in '89, though, from the Auburn perspective, I remember I was new to the market, but
that was your first year.
Yeah, but I mean, grown men crying at Tiger Walk. I mean, they got that game back to Jordan-Hare, and there's something in the air about that. And when it was,
nobody ever thought it would ever be there.
And what was it? That first place from scrimmage? Slapped to? It was a bomb to Wright. Was it Alexander Wright? Is that his name? The wide receiver went for about 60
Or was it
yards?
Shane Wasden where Keith McCants walked him down? I don't remember.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Oh, McCants ran. Oh, I can't remember his name.
McCants, somebody ran somebody down.
Yeah, he ran somebody down.
But but that game was, everybody always talks about what's the loudest game you ever played, and that was the loudest game.
Really? At Jordan-Hare?
Rick, you said
God, it was
something
so
in the air, and when you went into the stadium, if you looked up, there was an orange-purple glow. Orange and blue glow over the whole stadium.
No,
it almost blocked the sky because they had shake so hard. That paper mache was everywhere.
No, I was going to say that. The one thing that you'll notice when you were playing on the field is this blue and orange haze.
Yep.
And it was from those shakers. And they were paper shakers then. They weren't plastic. But, man, it was loud. I mean, the field shook. And I can remember going to the line of scrimmage trying to talk to Trent Patton, and I couldn't. I'm like, what do we – it was crazy. It was a great atmosphere. And I tell everybody, people too, is like, what's your most memorable game at Alabama? And I said, that game's the most memorable because everybody talks about it. And it wasn't a great result, but it was memorable because it was loud. And I liked it because we played on grass. I mean, we hardly ever played on grass. And I just love the fact that we got to play on grass. And I mean, it didn't turn out the way for us that day. And of course, they did have 12 people on offense when they scored a touchdown, and they'll say they didn't, but I mean, you can go watch the tape. I mean, and count.
But that stadium has always been, it's built like Knoxville, more high. I suppose Bryant-Denny's almost like a cereal bowl. So that's the sound.
Yeah, and it was loud. It was
but
loud.
I say there's nothing better, and no offense to Bama. I'm going to get myself in trouble because Bama does a great job with their game day experience, especially today with what they've done.
It's unbelievable.
But back then at night, Jordan-Hare at night, with the eagle and the tiger. I mean, it still is.
And it's going to happen again.
Yeah. A week or whatever.
Well, I don't know what time this is going to air, but it's going to happen.
Tell us about when two questions there. They're totally different. First, what makes a good center? I mean, were you just were you a good athlete growing up, or were you a little fat kid walking around Atlanta? I mean, how did you become a center? And what makes it? And then B, I want to tell the story. I remember years ago, you told us when you got off the bus at LSU, some old lady came up to the bus and mooned you. So tell me, I ruined the punchline there.
No, I don't know.
You said that you told us one of these TV shows that you were mooned by a grandmother at LSU. Did you just make that up?
No, I think I did.
That was such a good story. The team bus, you ran up and they all got off the bus, and the LSU people are 2 hours before the game.
Yeah.
And you told us that you walked out and some old grandma mooned you. Dropped her drawers.
I wasn't upset over that.
Okay. Anyway, well, let's tell a story that did happen then.
Aren't you the one that came up with the line? I think it was in Knoxville about real estate.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Paying taxes.
But one of my New Orleans ones was we were getting ready to play. I don't know. Oh, we were in the Sugar Bowl, and this was '92 when I was a GA, no, I was at Alabama. I was in '90. Somebody's interviewed. One of you guys was interviewing me on the street and whatever, and I said New Orleans. And the lady came up to me and she said, excuse me. And this is a live interview, doing the interview. It has to be one of you two guys. And she said, well, excuse me, sir, but down here we say Nolans. I said, really? Well, I said, well, how do you pronounce the capital of Kentucky? Louisville or Louisville? And she goes, well, we would say Louisville. And I said, well, it's Frankfurt. Good job. I did say
right.
that.
You're a big Capitals guy.
Yeah.
And also, you told me, I'm sorry, we just.
No, I know we're all over the place.
But I remember one time we were driving somewhere because we did AF2. We did Steel Dogs together.
Yeah.
And we were driving somewhere, and every car that passed, he'd go Monroe. And us would come by Cherokee. Tell me why you do that.
So I know all the state Alabama county license plate numbers. And then I knew
Shelby County is
58.
very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't try him.
No,
I did
So
the
you
whole
know,
trip.
okay.
Yeah. And of course they're starting to change now because now
Now they're having like AO.
Yeah. They're changing. They're screwing me up. So, and then I knew a lot of state capitals, and we'd drive around and just name state capitals and
In the county.
yeah. We're trying to stay up. We're driving in the middle of the night after a game, and we're trying to come back and we're listening to Marshall Tucker band and and trying to stay up. So let's just test me on the capitals.
But why? Why would you find that
Interesting.
why would you memorize?
You had
all
a
the
good
time?
answer for this, I remember.
I don't know.
You said that when you were on the team bus and everybody was so silent that you were on the bus and you found a card that had 1 through 67.
Yeah.
And you had to be quiet, nothing to do, so you just started memorizing.
No,
Isn't that what
how-
happened?
No, that's how I know the
Yeah.
state. But the state capitals, I always would get a map out. I just want to know the state capital. And no real reason. I thought it'd be good to know the state capitals.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't.
Good for the mind.
Well, he's from Vermont.
Yeah.
Yeah. Montpelier.
Very good. Montpelier.
Not many people get
you
that
are
one.
good. So what makes a good center?
I think I think you got to be very intelligent, somewhat handsome. Those are the two keys.
Well, there were exceptions, obviously.
Yes. Landon Dickinson's one of them.
Yeah.
No. Whoa. Can you be on the show, Landon?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He's gone. You're not getting him.
No, he's gone.
But I think part of it is I got to be smart. You got to coordinate. That's the whole thing about it is right. Coordinating, making sure we're all in unison because it's they talk about 5 guys working as one. Five. You're a fist. And that's how you have to work as an offensive line. So you got to be on the same page. So you got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to recognize defenses and understand. I think the other thing too is you got to have quick feet. To be you got to be able to have quick feet to be a center, and it may change a little bit. But I mean, I was strong. I think that obviously helps. But yeah, you got to have quick feet and be able to communicate with your guards and understand and make up for mistakes. And I think obviously I could have probably had a little bit longer arms and legs. It probably
Like Railsford.
It could have probably helped me a little bit on some pass pro.
You're
but,
like a T-Rex.
I was like a little guy boxing. Like, I'm gonna get you. It's like, hey, you're great.
Speaking of positions, let's go back to center point. You were not a center.
Correct.
You played where, and then it was a nickname for you and the other guy.
That's right. So that's what I was on junior high in Texas.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah. So I grew up in Birmingham, Center Point, Homewood for 1 year, then Center Point, and I was offensive lineman. But when I moved to Texas, we went to a school, junior high. Those kids hadn't played organized football. I'd been playing 6 years of organized football. They hadn't played it. And I'll never forget, I told the coach that I was a running back in Birmingham. I want to be a running back. And so I was like, I want to run the ball. And then they put me at tackle because I was probably the biggest kid that actually had played football. And but that lasted till we played a team. We couldn't do anything. They put me at running back. And literally, we probably ran 22 plays in a row where they just gave me the ball, and we went 40 yards, and I scored a touchdown. And we won the game. Wow. And so they put me at running back. But it was really I was just clogging along. I wasn't doing anything. But the other running back was a guy named Lamar Lathan, who ended up being a number 1 draft pick by the Houston Oilers. He and I were Thunder and Lightning.
Okay. He
He was the Lightning. I was the Thunder. But we also played linebacker. We were both linebackers on the team. And but he ended up, he went to the University of Houston, then got drafted first round by the Houston Oilers. But we played together. And Thunder and Lightning. And then, so my 8th grade year, I got a little bit better at running back, but I'm really not a really good running back. I mean, I really wasn't. But I was having this great game, and I mean, all my touchdowns were like 1 yard. I mean, I didn't have a 40-yard touchdown run, but I finally broke away, and I'm running, and there's this one little safety, and he's scared to death. I could see it, right? So a good running back would either go right, or left to right, left, right, They wouldn't try to run over this poor little kid that's scared to death. Not Schultz. I'm going to run over him. And I tripped and did not make – so I still – the longest touchdown run I ever had was 2 yards. So
What, do you get caught in your spokes? Is that pretty much
I just ran over and he tripped me. I got tripped. I could have – look, he wouldn't have chased me if I went one way or the other.
Just one little move. And
one little move. That's why I wasn't a running back. Right. But that's another thing what I think makes a great center. You do have to be athletic. Because somebody asked me this question today. I was eating lunch and he goes, were you always a good football player? I said, I was probably pretty good ever since the first day I ever strapped it up. And why is that? I said, well, I was tough and I liked to hit and I was physical. And that's part of it. But you got to be a good athlete to play center too. I mean, there's a lot of, movement pulling and stuff. They pull more now than they did when I played. Mm-hmm. But because I always had I always played we didn't play a lot of 4-man fronts. We had 3-man fronts.
Well, you're right about the upstairs part though, because you're calling and
it's all it's a part of it.
Takes a lot of sense to play center.
Yeah, and then you get banged up, hit a little bit. That's okay, but
that's okay. Well, let's go back to 1990 at Tennessee. 9-6 Philip Doyle from Huffman High School.
Huffman, I saw him play in high school.
Did you?
Yeah, well, we played like at the same little league park.
Center, that's right.
Yeah. But when I was a freshman at Alabama, I came back to go watch. I wanted to watch Irwin, but I went and said, "Oh, let's go see this Philip Doyle kid. He's going to be it out." So we went and watched Huffman play. And first of all, Philip was a good football player. I don't think people should not.
Strong kid.
He played linebacker.
He's big.
Really good.
Yeah, he played linebacker. He was great. I was like, that's not going to be our kicker. He's making all the tackles. This is unbelievable. And then he kicked a field goal. I was like, oh my God, this guy's. And of course, he was obviously All-American. I mean, right. But I remember watching him play in high school. So going back to 90. That's the whole thing where the line about, we ought to pay property tax on Neyland Stadium because we own it.
And we just set this up by saying that series was streaky down through the years. Bama would win 7 in a row, Tennessee 9 in a row, whatever. So this was during a streak in which Bama, you had won several in a row.
That's correct.
You go up, you meet the media after this 9-6 win on a Philip Doyle, and now, okay, I've set it up for you.
So
take it from there.
And what happened was, and I think I said it to Ray Malick. That's who I said it to.
Ray Malick,
Yeah, he wrote it in so they used to do the paper on Monday morning, came out with a review of the game. Like there's a Sunday paper and a Monday paper. I can't remember which is the Birmingham Post or the News or
Post Herald Morning, News Night. Yeah,
so the morning, I guess it was a combined paper, but whatever. But that's where it showed up the first time, and Ray that's who I told it to, and what happened is we're watching Game Day or whatever, they were watching the college preview show. I don't even know if it was Game Day back then, but Corso goes, Alabama's just basically a high school team. And I go, what is he talking about? Because we started 0-3, right? So I don't even know what our record was when we were going to the Tennessee game. But I do know that Tennessee had not lost a game since we played them in 88. So in 88, Tennessee, we beat them. And they had won 11, 12, count a bowl game or what. That's how many they had won in a row.
We're doing the math. If you started 0-3, you're playing Tennessee third week in October. Yeah. So it's probably 3-3 or something
like that.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
And so here's Tennessee rolling in, hadn't lost a game in 12 straight games.
And this is in Knoxville.
Knoxville. And so like Corso just goes, hey, that's a high school. Alabama's like a high school team. I go, what? That's what got me fired up, right? And so we play them, and it was probably the ugliest football game. They couldn't move the ball. We couldn't. It was terrible. Like it was awful. We just couldn't move the ball. They couldn't move the ball. But, all of a sudden they kick a field goal and it ricochets off of
Stacey
Harrison's face mask and literally goes 40 yards the other way. Yeah. And all we do is just manage to get the ball in the middle of the field, and Philip Doyle kicks it, and we win 9-6. And then that's when after the game, that's when I said that we ought to pay property tax on this place because we own it. That's what I said. This place. I didn't say Neyland Stadium. I said
we ought to pay property taxes on this place because we own it.
Yeah,
and another one of the many.
That's you talk about setting up them Tennessee fans. I did a radio show one time. Oh, I did a radio show in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Boy, they were it wasn't pleasant.
I hope it was on the phone.
No, I was
No,
in
you were
person.
live?
Because, my family's from Chattanooga. So I was like,
So this is 35 years ago.
yeah.
Do you still hear about that line today?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, it gets brought up. It's better when we beat Tennessee than when we don't, and it's also better when we beat them up there because we lost to them. We lost to them last year up at Knoxville, so it loses its luster, but it'll get picked back up. But it's lasted longer than I thought it would. So
Let's get personal. Where'd you meet your wife? And we want to tell our viewers, listeners, that Roger's wife is an Aubie from a very prominent and predominant Auburn family. Hotsy, totsy, ritzy, well-known Auburn royalty.
Way to go, Roger.
Tell me how you, for lack of a better word, landed this bride that was so
I'm glad
much
you said bride. I thought you were going to say broad.
broad. No, which was
How'd you get that broad?
Which in many ways was much different than you, as far because you're the normal guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Well, it's interesting you talk. So, like the first class at Auburn when it was API, I don't even know what it was called. The first class,
API,
whatever.
Alabama
Whenever they started
Polytechnic,
their school, they had 13 students, and one of the 13 was one of her relatives.
Wow.
Was her like great grandfather, whatever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so one of the original 13 students at Auburn it's now Auburn University, was one of my wife's relatives. And so that's kind of, and then her mom graduated from there, her dad graduated from there, her sister graduated from there, her nieces, no nieces, but nephews went there. So yeah.
And Paige is from where now?
She's from Montgomery. So.
Okay, tell us her maiden name.
Lucky.
Lucky.
So yeah.
See what I see there, Matt?
Yeah. So you know what she said?
Very
she goes,
prominent name with the Lucky family.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm lucky 24/7. I said, well, I guess I'm.
I guess you are too.
I said, can I be?
Yeah.
That's why I'm dating you. Can I be lucky? Yeah.
24 times?
Yeah. She said, yeah. 7. Come on, let's go. Yeah. That didn't go over really well with her.
But you went to tell us the story of how you met, because didn't you
blind date.
You asked her to the school or on a
Yeah.
date?
So what happened is it was a blind date. And what happened, I worked at a radio station doing a morning radio show.
In Montgomery.
Yeah. And her sister-in-law worked at the radio station with me. And so they had asked our sport program director, who was a real goofy, it would have never worked out. The page went out with him.
He's not watching this, don't
No,
okay.
I'm telling you, he's probably on the corner on drugs. He was a
Okay.
waste.
Well,
not a very good match.
Okay.
Right. But I guess he couldn't go on the date. And then so she comes up to me and goes, hey, would you want to go to a ball, whatever, with my sister-in-law? And I go, well, I can't go because I'm going to a wedding. John Cash, my friend or whatever. He lives there in Birmingham, and I had dinner with him last night. And so he was getting married that Saturday, and I said I can't. But look, Sunday, I coached a high school football team, and we're having our banquet. If you want to go to that banquet, I'll take you. So she's obviously desperate for a date because she said yes on a Sunday night.
So you're taking her to a high school banquet.
High school football banquet. And it was interesting because so my impression of her, she went to Trinity, which was a private school in Montgomery.
Of course, yep.
And I coached at a very public school, Sidney Lanier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, this is not going to go well.
It's a mismatch here.
This is not going to go well, but that's okay. I'm going to take her. And the best part about it was for the radio show, I had done a promotion where we had a suit, a men's store, custom make a suit and shirt for me. So as fat as I was, I had nice clothes. Only had one set of nice clothes. It wasn't a poncho and cut off scrubs, but it was. And so so I picked her up. And we went to it, and just how she interacted with the linemen and how she carried herself, she just seemed engaged and excited. And because I had to get up and talk and present awards. It was like, you left me at the table with those boys, because I've had that before. It's like, you left me. I go, well, I'm speaking. I can't.
Yeah, can't be in two places at once. So she related to these kids, right?
Oh yeah, her dad loved sports. Her dad loved sports, and Paige, she loves sports. And so I went to work the next day, and I said, guys, I met the girl I'm going to marry.
Really?
You did?
Yes. They go, no. I said, I'm telling you. And it's funny because she sent an email to her best friend going, I think I just met my husband.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How long did you date before you?
3 days. I was committed. I was like, I found one of the things she's going to say, yes, I'm going for it. No, it wasn't long. I think, so we got engaged, I guess the following year during football season at Center Point Ballpark, which, by the way, if y'all don't know.
You took her there, right?
I took her there. But what was funny was there was a bunch of guys spray painting the field for like the football games the next day. So they're like painting the center of the field. And I'm like, hey, guys, could y'all get done or leave or something? I'm trying to, get engaged. And I'm like, oh. So I walk out there because Paige doesn't know. And so we walk out there and she thought they had to paint field painted for her. But they shut the lights off. And I'm like, gosh, what the? Yeah. And then one of them goes, did she say yes yet? And I go, hey.
Didn't even.
Hey, what are you doing? I haven't asked her yet. And so I get down on my knee and, man, I tell you what, you talk about nervous. Like, I mean, I used to play against 300-pound guys, first-round draft picks, been around, met Joe Namath. I mean, you're around all these wonderful people. I knew Rick Carley. I said, my God, man, the nervous I ever been was getting on that knee and asking. And oh, my gosh. And it was so funny because we went to dinner that night, and they had just hired a new athletic director at UAB. I don't know why I said that, but
You just remember that part?
I just remember like that's the new athletic director at UAB. He wasn't there very long.
Tell us about the Alabama-Auburn dynamic in the marriage, because when a game comes on TV, from what I understand, you might not be watching it together.
No, we will not watch it together. We will not go to a game together or watch it together. It's just better that way. Because look, I'm not going to get her changed. She's not going to root for Alabama. Now, she may not root against Alabama. I'm probably more the problem than she is, because I'll probably say something that might offend her or hurt her feelings or whatever. So it's just easier that we just go our separate way, and we always have. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, baseball, football, softball, volleyball.
How do you react after the results? And if a good friend of ours, is don't say his name here, a local TV sports producer, very big bammer. His wife, might not, really much say anything for 2-3 days. I mean, it takes her a couple of days.
Yeah.
Did Paige? Did she shake off an Auburn loss? Did you shake off a Bama loss?
As we've gotten older, it's a little bit
better.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah,
but when you were younger, it was tough. Huh?
The closer I was to it, the more, and especially when it kind of bothered me. Then I get up, you find out it's just kind of it's a football game. It's not, But once you start raising kids and stuff.
But I know you, man. I know you. There had to be times when you were younger, you would just like be in the kitchen after the game and you'd have to say something wise to her, like, "Hey, nice pass on third down."
No, that doesn't stop at all.
It doesn't stop the banter.
That's year round.
It increased.
Okay. There's shots being thrown.
Oh, really?
All the time.
Haymakers even.
All the time. Absolutely 100%. That's part of it. That's the spice of life.
That's awesome. Well, you've had so many adventures in your life, from football to life to marrying an Auburn fan. And it's how long you been married? A long time now.
Yeah, it's 2001. What's the math on
24?
that? Yeah, coming up on 25.
Oh, 25.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
might want to think about a nice gift, Rives, this time, okay? Don't buy her a vacuum cleaner.
Get her an Alabama football hat.
Yeah, I'm going to get her an autographed Joe Namath book.
There you go.
There you go. But off the field, you, I guess you'll have to help me chronologically, have been on The Price is Right, the Oprah Winfrey Show, or Johnny Carson, or Jay Leno.
Yep.
With The Tonight Show.
Oprah
Winfrey and The Biggest Loser. What of those shows was first? And maybe you could just talk about
The Price is Right was first.
Okay. So how does a guy from Alabama get? What'd you just send it?
I always wanted to be on The Price. I mean, everybody wants to be on The Price Right, because when you're in the 70s and you're staying home sick, drinking 7-Up and watching The Price is Right, you just want to be on The Price is Right. I was like, I'd love to be on The Price is Right. And so Paige, for a gift for my birthday, got us tickets to The Price is Right.
Okay. That's great.
So I was like, well, let's go. So we timed it up with the Winter Olympics in Utah.
Okay.
So, and a trip to Vegas.
2002.
Yes, exactly.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Banana Flowers.
Yeah,
there you go.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
I was there to cheer her on.
Yeah.
That's where I was. I was at the
I was
at the luge.
Park City.
Yeah, I was at the luge.
You were at the luge place.
Oh my God, it was so cold. That's the coldest I've ever been in my life.
So anyway, you go to LA.
So we go to LA, and everybody that's sitting in the audience auditions for The Price is Right. Okay. Everybody goes in front of the producers in groups of 10.
Oh, okay.
And so we had tickets to 2 shows in one day. And then, so I'm like looking at the competition, and there was this big heavyset guy with a sequence jacket. And I said, well, that guy might beat me out or what. I mean, he's kind of looked at the personality. He's big, I was big. And I was like, all right, Paige, we're not going out for this one. We'll just wait. We'll just go eat lunch and we'll come back and we'll do this show 2. Because I was like, that guy, like, he might get on. I never know if he got on, but he looked like he was going to get on. And I was like, because you scout it, right? And so whatever, we go through the producers and we get in and we're sitting there in a good spot and you're just waiting, And then, so we go halfway through this thing and we had tickets for another day too. So we had 3 shows. And, well, it's to the last, come on down. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be on the show now because the last guy never gets on. I mean, I said, I don't want to be called. Roger Shultz, come on down. I was like, oh, shoot. I mean, you could almost see me go, oh. I had to be happy, but I was sad. And I got up there and then we all overbid. So we had to rebid and I got up there. And then basically there was a TV set and it came, here's the price 1, price 2. And just like the SAT, I could get it down to 2 answers, and then I picked the wrong one. That's just story of my life.
Do you remember what game you played?
No, it was just picking a TV.
Oh, just picking. Okay.
It was a TV, and they go, "Here's 2 prices. Is it $2,600 or is it $3,600?"
They put 2 prices out.
Yeah, and
what
I go,
did you win initially to get you on stage?
I won a weird future Art Deco chair, table, and a year's supply of cold sore cream. So
no, you're making that up.
No,
cold
I'm not.
sore
No.
cream?
Your supply of cold sore cream.
Yeah. So I had to find somebody to give me a cold sore so I could use it.
Yep.
They just cut me 40.
They cut you a check.
They cut me a check for $40.
Oh.
That's, by the way, if you want to know how much your supply of cold sore cream costs, $40.
$40.
$40.
Yeah,
That's back then.
Yeah, in 2001.
Wow. So then, what's the next show you went on?
So the next show I went on was The Biggest Loser.
And how did that go? Did you have to send in a videotape?
No,
or?
I auditioned. So it's funny because I auditioned for I think it was season 3, and we went to Nashville, and we're scouting around, and it's so funny because there were so many. Like I said, okay, the casting was going to be from like 3 o'clock to 6, and it was going to be at this bar in Nashville. Well, I said, Paige, let's just drive around and see what the line looks like. Man, the line was around the block at like 11:30. Oh. I said, shoot, I got to get out and get in line, or I'm not going to get. So I was 315 person in line that time. So I got out, and Paige and Ivan was with us, and they were just bumping around or whatever. And then and that you go in groups of 10, and they just kind of talk to you, and hey, whatever. I didn't. They just sat you in a circle and you talk. Hey, how'd you look like in a bathing suit? If you were to be thin, what would you do? Or so I'm like, I don't know.
What an interview!
So
process.
you're probably
That's
pretty funny at that point.
I would think I was.
Yeah,
I thought I was. Of course, I probably offended I made fun of 2 of the fat people there, but that didn't help. And I am one of the fat people. But I kind of made a joke at somebody else's expense or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'm probably out of here. And they go, well, we'll let you know. And it was like 10 minutes. I'm like, man, that's it. I'm done. And so we're driving back home. I literally get to Montgomery, and I get a call from the producers, and they're like, hey, look, we'd like to interview you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for a one-on-one interview. Can you be here? I go,
you just got home.
I was like, I just drove from that. I said, absolutely. So I called my boss at work. I said, look, I'm not going to be in tomorrow. I'm going back up to Nashville. But I didn't bring anything. I didn't have a chance to go home because I lived in it. I didn't have a chance to go home to bring like pictures or anything. I didn't have anything, or like my goal suit, because they go, bring your goal suit. What do you want to wear when you get your goal weight? I didn't have any of that, but I just showed up for the interview or whatever. So that was like a Tuesday. So I didn't get any. They said, we'll let you know if you get further or whatever. That never transpired. So then I auditioned for The Apprentice with Trump, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. And it was so funny. So when I auditioned with The Biggest Loser, the line looked so long with so many people because every person, heavy person, had like 3 people that were supporting them, like, you're the prettiest fat person. You got the person out. It's like encouragers, right? To go beyond to help them go audition. It wasn't like they were by themselves. They were with other people. And then I went to The Apprentice, and so I said, okay, they're going to open the doors at 8. I need to be there at 5:30 in the morning. And I got to wear a suit because it's The Apprentice, right? I show up at 5:30 in the morning. Doors are locked. Nobody's there. 7:30 in the morning, I'm still the only one there. I go, is this thing started? Hey, where are these people want to audition for this show?
Let me guess, you got the wrong address. No?
No, I was at the right place.
You were at the right place.
I was just, they just kind of, there was probably only 100
that showed up even at
that
7:30 on.
that showed up. But I got through that and made it through 2 rounds there. And then the producer called me and says, Trump wants to talk to you. Mm-hmm. I go, oh. He goes, hey, look, man, great personality. You're just too big.
Trump said this?
Yeah, too big. I said, oh, well, your hair's ugly. You know, I said, what can you know? And so what do you say, right?
What do you say to the guy?
I was like, hey, the producer go, hey, could you hold for Trump? Trump's like, hey, man, we like you. You got a good personality. Think you'd be wonderful for the show, but you're too big. I go, well, okay. All right, I guess I am. You know, so then,
that was it.
That was it. And so I didn't get cast on The Apprentice, but I made it. I mean,
But The Biggest Loser. Now, if Bob Barker was the spokesman, was the big show. Who was the famous trainer that you worked under at Biggest Loser?
Bob Harper.
Bob Harper.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing too about The Price is Right is I wanted to go because Bob Barker was getting old, and I want to make sure I got with Bob Barker. But the Barker's beauties.
Oh yeah.
Were 2 former.
Well, Diane and
but no,
they were in Playboy.
Yes, the 2.
Holly or something?
No.
This is the wrong era.
I think.
Yeah, you're thinking back when you were in high school.
I'm thinking back when. Okay.
No, when I did.
These are more current. Okay.
Playmates of the year too.
Well, so that's another reason you wanted to try.
Oh my God, they were so beautiful. Ian Ziering's wife was one of them, and Tim Couch's wife was the other one. Heather Kozar,
Kentucky quarterback, Cleveland Brown quarterback.
Yeah, and the guy that played 90210.
Wow.
And they were so beautiful.
Oh, sure.
Oh my God. So it's funny. So I got on the show Price Right, and then we had that extra ticket to go. And then Paige is like, she got so sick of me talking about how I just could not. I talked about it for 2 days. I was just so excited.
So you talked about the models there instead of.
Well, no, I didn't. I talked about the thing.
Oh, the thing
that's being on the show.
Good. Okay.
Well, I go back and I go, well, I don't stare at these models. So we go back, and our seats are completely on the edge. Like I'm on the edge, and how we can see the producer right there. Mm-hmm. I can see that's where Heather and them were on my seat. It was literally this close. Like how I'm looking at him, that's how I was looking at them.
Wow.
Oh, that doesn't make sense. No, that's not right. I didn't say that right.
I understood it. I understood everybody else.
Yeah, okay.
So we understood you're fairly close. This is probably 12 feet. Yeah.
So I could see both of them. And I mean, they were stunning. Mm-hmm. And then literally, so Paige doesn't get called up or whatever, because she's still huffy mad at me. And then I couldn't stop talking about did you see how they comb their hair? See how pretty they were? Oh my God!
You really don't have a filter, do you?
No, I didn't.
Happy wife, happy life.
Well, when we got to the Olympics, I had to sleep outside the first night, and it was minus 10 degrees. That was not pleasant. So,
wow!
I should have made fun of Heather. I should have said something about Heather Kozar.
There you go. Yeah, serves you right. Talk about The Biggest Loser. How you became really one of America's favorites.
America voted me into the finals.
Into the finals. Did you finish runner-up?
Runner-up.
And you lost how much weight, and how difficult was it? I mean, put us into that experience of what it was like to.
Well, when I got heavy, I always thought, man, if I could just go away and lose weight, I think I could do it. Right? If I could just go away. And then all of a sudden you see this reality show called The Biggest Loser. And I remember watching it was the second season, first episode, and I go, I cannot watch these fat people work out. I can't. This is awful. Well, I went away from it, and then I kind of came back to it, about 6 weeks later, and I saw the transformation. I was like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. So I was hooked, right? And that's when I auditioned in Nashville, and I kept auditioning. And so what happened is, after that apprentice audition, they had another audition for the Biggest Loser. And I went to it. And so the apprentice was in Jacksonville, Florida, and the Biggest Loser was in Jacksonville, Florida. And I can remember going into a place to get a Diet Coke or a coffee or something before we did the interviews for The Biggest Loser. And there was a lady in there, and she kept asking me a bunch of questions. Well, she was one of the producers. Oh, okay. So the good thing is at this time, I picked a hotel to stay in case they call me back the next day. I wasn't going to drive home and come back. Well, they did call me back. And then, so if it's a 6-step process to get cast for The Biggest Loser, the first time I made it 2 steps. The second time I made it 4 steps. So I didn't quite get cast. then I took a job, and they called me, and they go, "Hey, look, are you still interested in being on The Biggest Loser?" I go, "Well, I hadn't lost any weight. I'm ready." I mean, yeah. And then they said, something about, do you have a partner or somebody that's big? And I'm thinking, well, I can't take my wife because she's as skinny as a rail. I mean, basically, I used to tease people all the time. We made the perfect 10. You know, she was a 1, I was a 0. That's how we looked. And so I said, well, you know, I got a bunch of guys I played football with. They go, oh, yeah. What, is any of them gained weight? I go, oh, yeah, pretty much.
Have you ever won?
I got a good choice. I got a big selection of people. And so I said, why don't we do Trent? Because, you know, Trent was from New York. I was from Alabama. And I thought that'd be kind of a cool dynamic. And so we met in New York and met the producers, and they liked our dynamic. And then we got invited out. So we got invited out to California for the last part of the casting process, which is funny because, I mean, I really just thought we were already cast. I mean, that's just how, you know, I didn't know we weren't, but and I know we were the last 2 cast because of our body bug numbers. But so we're waiting, and we literally are in this hotel room for a week. You can't leave the room. You know, they'll take you, like you can go to a group and go to the store, but you can't talk to people. But our room was right by the elevator. So I spent the whole time looking at that peephole, looking at people leaving and coming and going. I'm like, they keep cutting people. Well, we're still here. So the end of the week, we're literally the last 2. So they put us in a room, and they go, all right, you guys have been cast for the show. And that's it. When we cast, you stayed. You didn't go home. You were there.
Well, how long was the taping process?
I was there from October the 14th till March the 6th.
Oh, I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah, I was
So you're
without
talking like 4
Paige.
months?
without Paige.
Without Ashmore.
What,
Without
they put you in a
Ashmore.
hotel between
No,
tape?
we went to the ranch.
You went to the ranch, okay.
Went and started
they-
the show. So yeah, they put us in a room and said, okay, you guys are the cast for the show.
Yeah.
That's how I knew. But then when we got our body bugs, I was 19 and Trent was 20. And there were only 20 people cast on the show. So that's how I knew that.
Yeah.
But what was funny was, those are our body bug numbers. But when we went to film the first part of the show, there were only 18 of us. And I go, why do they got 20? Why am I 20? There's only 18 of us here. That's when they brought in, hey, we got a surprise couple for you. Because like the show was called Couples. And basically everybody knew it was like a divorced couple, and me and Trent, you know, everybody knew everybody. You knew your partner. You knew your person. This time they put 2 just random people together to see how they could compete. And that was Bernie and what's her? Yeah,
Beatrice.
yeah.
So
She's gonna kill me if she ever sees it.
So I find this fascinating. So what did they have you? Did you have to get on the treadmill every day and go through certain routines? And how about your food? Did they limit your calories?
I think that no, they didn't limit our calories. We did everything through the body book. But what was interesting is we cooked our own. Everybody thinks they fed us or gave us food. No, we were responsible for cooking our food, whatever. Because I guess. I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, too, is now looking back 18 years since I was on the show, it was a weight loss show. Everybody wants to, it's a get healthy, it's a weight loss show. It's a competition to look like I was a champion of weight loss. Because really it's hard to, because you go at it and, it's just, because they came out with a Netflix series this past summer and it's the same story as every, same people complaining about the same. But it was, we had to do our food, and then our trainers came and worked us out, but then we were left to do workouts ourselves.
Everything else. Give us 3 numbers because you're honest and what the heck. And nobody's watching. This is Alabama.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
What you weighed going in, how much weight you lost, and then what was your bottom weight when you went out? I guess we can do the math.
Yeah. So I went in at 364.
Okay.
I lost 363 because I lost 164 pounds. I got down to 199.
Holy crow.
I got down to 199. But
when was the last time you weighed 199 before that?
14?
No. Whatever you are in the 7th grade.
12.
No, hold on. I was, whatever I was in the 7th grade.
12 years old.
Yeah.
199.
Yeah.
Did you gain it all right back?
No, I didn't gain it all right back. I mean, I stayed good, and then it obvious. I knew I wasn't going to stay 199. Well, look, I was only 199 when I stepped on a scale. What's funny? So we went to do medical. So this would be the good thing if the doctor would release what our medical weight was to what our weigh-in weight was.
Okay.
So we went to medical, and I was 208. I was 208. And so I sweated out the rest. Yeah, but
it's like Coach Saban a number of months ago. I did one of these TED Talk things with him down at the Renaissance Center. He just, so they gave me about an hour and 20 minutes with him. And any question you want. So he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I served him up to the beach, so he hit him out of the park. But he was talking about discipline, and if you want to reach a goal like that, you've got to go further than just stop once you reach the goal. You've got to keep that lifestyle going.
Yeah.
And I said to Coach, so that means like an example would be me. When I know when I'm going to get my cholesterol checked, I'll starve myself for 3 days so I get a low cholesterol. And right after they take my blood, I'll go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you don't have the fortitude to finish. You've got to, and
he wear you out?
He wore me out, but it was hilarious. People were dying, and I had fun with it. But the point is, do you feel you kind of stuck with it for a while? Did you?
I did. All right. Look, I knew I wasn't going to stay at that weight, and there was a comfortable. I was really. The best that I looked like healthy and everything was about 230. That was where I. But then you kind of get back into. Now I'm with my wife, my kid, raising my kid, job, things. It's just the same.
Stress,
all that stuff.
What was your playing weight at Alabama?
265, 270, somewhere in there.
So by winning or by finishing a runner-up, you get to go on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
No, I got on the Jay Leno show because they wanted, they used to do like stupid human tricks.
Right.
So they want to do Biggest Loser, stupid human tricks.
Oh, okay.
And so there was a guy in the NFL that had just snapped the ball between his legs and made a basket. Okay. Like a basketball goal from like half court or whatever. Okay. And they go, "Can you do that?" I go, "Yeah, I can do that." Which I wasn't a deep snapper. No. I never snapped in my life. I was just center. The guy was right there by me.
Like you just said, "Yeah, I can do that."
Yeah, I want to be on Jay Leno. I said, hell yeah, I can do that. Shoot, you can. And so it's funny. So we go out there, and so we're going to do it, and so we'd go through this like pre-thing, like they walk you out and show you stuff, and they asked me. So there was a big cutout of Jay, and it had his big mouth. And they're like, "So what are you here to do?" I said, "Well, I'm here to put my balls in Jay's mouth." And they go, "Oh, wow!" They said, "Do not say that. Do not say that on air.
You can see.
Don't say it." I said, "Oh, I can't say that." I said, "I've been holding that for you." Don't say it. And I said, they go, "We'll cut it from the show. Don't say it." I go, "Okay, I won't say it." I said, "But it's funny, isn't it?"
Well, yeah.
But but here's what happens when they take you through that thing. Jay's listening to you talk.
What's that doing?
That's where he's getting his stuff.
Yeah, right.
So I guess
he's getting.
So he's like, "Hey, you want to put your balls in my mouth, huh?" It's like, "Hey, where did you get that?"
Did he say that on his monologue?
No, he didn't say. No. But I kept expecting it.
Yeah,
that's what I was expecting.
He was going to steal your line.
I thought he was going to steal my line, but I guess he didn't.
So this was just a brief appearance.
Yeah. And so I snapped it, and I hit the top of his head, and then he kept moving me. It really worked out good that I couldn't do it because he literally put me right up next to it, and I just tossed it through. Like,
yes, it was better television.
I went from like 15 feet to a yard.
It was better TV that way.
I think it worked out great. So, but it was fun. And hey, look, he was you talk about a great person.
He seems like a nice guy.
Oh, God,
doesn't he?
Hey, Oprah was great too, man.
Yeah, he used to. I lived in Jacksonville, Florida, before I came here in the '80s, and he used to do stand up. He was then filling in for Carson, so he was big. But he would finish a clean show.
Yeah.
He was always. I don't even know if he had a beer, but we would gather around the bar afterwards for a half hour. Whether it's a glass of water or a beer, I don't know what he was drinking, but he would talk to us and, "Hey, how you doing?" Before he went to his room. Very nice guy. So now Oprah.
Yes.
A new car.
She was wonderful. So
how did you get on the world on Oprah Winfrey?
Well, that was because of the Biggest Loser.
Because
they brought all the Biggest Loser people in, and just kind of like showing and this was like in October after I got off the show in April. So we went up there and basically like, what do you eat in a day?
Where did they shoot that show? Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago.
Okay.
And they were great. They were wonderful.
Oh, I bet.
You talk
WLS, I think, a local
first
TV
class.
station.
I mean, first class.
WGN.
And but we went up there, and so I got to go up there. basically they laid out all the food I used to eat in a day.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all this Coke.
Barbecue. And,
Oh, Chinese buffet.
Yeah.
We know a little bit about that, don't we? It wasn't a buffet, but we had Chinese food today.
Yeah, we did.
So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to the bowl.
Yeah, we went to the bowl.
We went to the bowl.
And and it was just breakfast, and it was all the food I ate. And everybody, and she kind of went through it, and we just talked about it. She goes, I said, I really ate all that. I mean, it was. She goes, you might have gotten fat. I said, that's probably why I was 300.
Was she ever on The Biggest Loser by any chance?
Oprah? No, she did a good job of losing some weight.
She did.
Yes, she did. Several times.
But she's been up and down. And it's
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, not to get too personal, but has that been a thing for you, or are you where you are weight wise comfortably now? Or
I'm still 100. I'm 100 pounds down.
down
From when I started this show. So I'm 260. I'm about my playing weight.
That's
Okay,
pretty
Alabama.
good. You look
it's
good.
good.
You
No,
look-
as
yeah,
far
you do.
as far as like past contestants or what, I think I look okay. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's kind of it crept. I told myself once I got under 300 pounds, I'd never get over 300 pounds, and I have since, but it was like 302, and I was like, you got to fix this.
I saw Barkley at the Regions golf tournament months ago, and he looked great. And I said, "What's he?" So I'm losing 100. I'm down 50.
Yeah.
And I'm got 50 to go. He's advertising for one of these Ozempic type things.
Yeah.
One of the
Monjero or something like that.
One of the
Yeah.
needle things.
Yeah.
And he, but boy, he's looking great. So
well, he's got joint. I mean, he's got it's hard.
He's had a replacement. Has he had hip replacement surgery?
It would be hard to because at the end of the day, really, if you got to lose weight, you got to move. You got to watch what you eat and move.
Yeah. All right. As we wind it down, how old are you now, Raj?
58.
58. What's on the bucket list that you want? Like people ask me, and I might say, I don't know, I'd like to go sit in the outfield at Wrigley Field, or I don't know, go to Yankee Stadium, or something. What are you sports wise or life wise?
Great question.
You got anything? You've done so much.
Yeah,
You went to the Olympics. That's
Been to
pretty
the Olympics,
cool.
yeah.
Olympics.
I mean, I've really checked off a lot of stuff. I always want to go to Red Rocks to see a college. I mean, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but I've been to Red Rocks now about 4 or 5 times. I love going to Red Rocks. I would like to go to Italy.
Okay.
I mean, Machu Picchu.
I
want to go to Machu Picchu with the guys.
Right.
So we got to, our guys. Like I want to go with our guys. Nothing against the wives.
And I can say this because this will be released later, but my wife is going to Rome, Italy next Monday with 5 of her girlfriends. So the 6 girls.
Good for them.
And one of her friends, from what I hear, got tickets. I guess you got to be approved for one of the masses out in the big square that you see when the Pope comes out. And, of course, he's a big Chicago Cubs fan.
Right.
So ask him about the Cubbies. But they're very excited about it. But anyway, so maybe a European trip or more travel.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a lot of things. I mean, obviously, I want to see my son graduate here at college. Please get out of college, son, soon.
We feel your pain, right?
Yeah, I've done, like I said, I always try to have goals and I write stuff down. And it's really, I'm pretty satisfied. I'm happy.
Okay, final question, if that's all right. Matt can sneak one in too. My final question, and this may air 2 weeks from now, so you might be looking at mid-November, but it's a pertinent question. Alabama's football team and their offense. Sometimes they can't run the ball. So heck, the season might be over by the time this, after the Iron Bowl by the time this.
Oh, gosh.
Well, maybe we can put it up. Maybe we can put it up next week. We'll see. Yeah, Chandler's the boss on that. But regardless, it's still pertinent to talk about Alabama. He was sketching out a play at Yummy Bowl for me an hour and a half ago and telling me why the 8 in the box was there instead of 5 in the box.
Yes.
And so this has got you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a little. So, of course, this is and we just lost to Oklahoma. Let's just take where we had
after the Oklahoma
This
loss.
is after the Oklahoma loss, and it's kind of crazy to me that Oklahoma moves up 3 spots and we drop down 6 spots because we were 4, we're 10. Yet we did not win the game, obvious, but yet Oklahoma did nothing to win the game. Alabama beat themselves. Just not a good day, right? I mean, turnovers. The special teams was not good because of the punt return they had, the missed field goal that we missed. So and you look at like Oklahoma's stats, like I don't understand that, but I do have an issue. So everybody wants to blame. I'm tired of hearing. It's the offensive line. It's not the offensive line. Offensive line, they put the 5 right. So probably mid-September, I said, I've watched these line. They keep rotating these line guys, and I said, I'm telling you who the best 5 linemen are on that team. And when you play football, you put your 5 best linemen out there regardless. And the 5 best linemen are Proctor, Big 71, 72, Formby at the right guard, and the freshman. Yeah. I said they had that lineup probably 2 series right at the end of September. And I said, that's the best line we got. That group of guys, because they said that Carroll, they said, well, he doesn't know the plays. Well, you know who does know the play at right tackle? Formby. So why don't you put him at guard? Because he can play guard. He's as good as those other guards. And then he can help our little freshman tackle. And our freshman tackle, if he plays more, he's going to get better. Right. But you got to play. You can't go, well, he doesn't know the plays. We're not going to play him. Well, that's stupid. If he's one of your 5 best, you get him out there and you figure it out. So, even I think Grubbs came out and said, this is the best offensive line group we've had play. I go, you're an idiot because you should have known that 6 weeks. I know it 6 weeks ago. And I said it. I said it publicly. I was on a radio show and I said, that's your 5 guys. Live and die with you.
They do sub out.
Yeah, sub out too much. Now, every once in a while you can let a guy get a rest or something, but they were doing it too much, trying to figure out who the 5 were. And I knew who the 5 were 6 weeks ago. The offensive coordinators should know that. And the offensive coordinators also should know that if you have 5 in a box, you line up in your formation, and Alabama came out in a formation 3-by-1. There were 5 in the box. Run the ball. Let's run it now. Say, hut, boom, run the ball. Right over the right tackle and right guard. It was a hole. Everybody was blocked. But we don't. We stop. We all look like prairie dogs over the sideline, and there's this, get them signs. They shift from 3-by-1. They bring these 2 guys in. One goes to tight end. One goes to H that stacks behind the tight end. The outside, the X receiver or whatever it comes, I think it's 2, comes in closer. 5 is over here by itself. The defense adjusts. Now the defense has 8 in the box. 5 in the box. What do?
Run it.
You run it.
8 in the box.
You pass it.
And your receiver on the left side, who's number 5, who's our best receiver. Sure. I don't care. You say what you want to. 5's our guy, most reliable guy. He's on a one-on-one coverage, and the safety closest to him is on the right hash. Can't cover him.
So you've got Bernard man, and you've got Ryan Williams man on both sides? Okay.
Both sides.
And what did they do? They run the same play?
But they had the safety over Ryan.
Okay.
They didn't have both safeties.
Nobody behind.
Both safeties were at the 5 yards from the ball.
And they run the ball the same play.
They ran the ball. That if they would have ran the ball when they came in spread, it would have went for, the guy make it at least 8 yards. I'm telling you, that play was because it was blocked. Now they run the ball with 8 in the box to a side where we have 3 blockers for 4 defenders. Guess what? Guess what happens?
Tell me.
We don't gain a yard. And then everybody goes, well, the line sucks. The running back can't read a block. No. The offensive
it's play calling.
Play calling. The system. And I keep saying this, and I said, this coach motions more people to bring more people into the box. It's the stupidest. If you want to watch how you motion and leverage or how you set pieces up, watch Lane Kiffin. That's a PhD program. It's not 3rd grade football. You don't motion to motion, because then when you motion to motion, are you doing all this expanding and contracting without knowing what you're going to do? You create confusion over numbers or where to go or what to read. Because Ty Simpson could, if they would have ran a play to the left, they had the numbers. It didn't look like it, but they did. Or if they could have, but really they should have just passed it. You got your best receiver one-on-one with no safety.
But you like Ty though.
I love everybody at Alabama. Yeah. The players aren't the problem. And I'm tired of, and it's starting to get this way. The coach like, the players didn't execute. No, you're not helping the player. You're not giving the offensive lineman the advantages to block, because the one guy that came over blocked free, the left guard was supposed to block him, but he was in a negative position. The left guard could never block that linebacker. He could not block him. There's no way in the world that guy could block unless he pulled. And that ain't going to work either.
What would you charge to be an offensive coordinator at Alabama? Your salary demands wouldn't be too bad.
1.8, something like that.
Look, Look, if they just listen to me, I'll give it to them for free. I want to win.
I tell you what,
I
Rick,
want to win.
tell it like it is.
No, I
Right.
love that.
Let me wrap it up and go the other
So,
end.
but
of
I mean,
it.
that's my thought, my opinion, and I hear all these people talking, but everybody wants to blame we got players. I'm telling you, we got players. We got just as good many players, everything. But
all right, you said your most memorable football game
yeah,
was at Jordan-Hare. What is your favorite?
probably my favorite. That's a great question. Obviously, I think Tennessee beating them in '90 the way we did. That's always been because my dad grew up in Chattanooga, and I think my aunts were Tennessee fans. So this Tennessee game always means a little something more to me.
Good for you.
For that. So I think Tennessee, all those Tennessee wins we had when I was there.
And on a high note, as we wind it down, what was your record against Auburn?
Okay, you think that's a simple question, but it's not.
Really?
So yes, I'm going to explain it. So I was there in '86, which was a loss. '87 was a loss. '88 was a loss. '89 was a loss. All right. So that looks like 0-4 right now. '90 we won. '91 as a G8 we won. '92 we won.
You were still with the team.
So and I don't count my redshirt year. So 3-3.
Okay.
So 3-3.
With that, 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3.
It's called Shultz math.
Shultz math.
Try it at home.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roger.
I appreciate it, guys.
Roger Shultz. You can find him where? You're on all the social media
Well, yeah, I'm
platforms,
out
or-
there. I'm
Yeah,
not
out
very
there and-
I'm not very social, but I'm out there.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
very social.
But if you see me in the street, say hi. I'll talk
There
to you.
you go.
Yeah, he will.
I will talk to you.
Good man right there.
Roger Shultz. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, guys. I appreciate it.